Hello everyone, welcome to a special edition of Titans Tube. Special because it's Titans Tube.
It's always special here.
It is always special here. This is our preview episode of the upcoming game, the AFC South Division rivalry, Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts, the team that we are forever cursed by. We've lost 10 in a row now. But never have the stakes been greater for the AFC South. They beat us the first time we played them, 34-26. It was at home, so now we have to go on the road, play at Lucas Oil Stadium. Who wants to play there? What a dumb stadium.
Not me.
Who names their stadium Lucas? If you're named Lucas out there, I apologize. But still, we have to go beat them in their home, which is very doable. But we're going to break down the game, break down the positions, see who's got the advantage. And side note, if you are a Colts fan and watching this, we will be at the game.
Woo!
That's right.
We're going to Indy.
We are going to Indy. We are making the road trip up, and we're going to the game on Sunday. That's right. So if you're a Colts fan and you're watching this, and you want to meet us, we'll try to find us at the game. We'll be repping our Titans stuff. And
do we want to meet Colts fans, though?
Good point.
But currently, they are sitting with the 12th ranked passing offense, getting the 12th most yards per game. And the rushing, they are 23rd. And on the defensive side of the ball, which is where they've been struggling, they currently are fielding the 31st ranked passing defense. And in rushing, they are 22nd against the run.
Currently, they are 4-5 on the season, sitting at 3rd place in the AFC South, a game and a half out of 1st place. Titans are only a game out of 1st place, so they're half a game behind us. They are a below 500 team, but looking back on their last 5 games, they're actually 3-2. They beat the Bears 29-23, but Bears are looking pretty bad this year. And then they lost to the Texans. We all know what happened in that game. They gave up that 14-point fourth quarter lead, turned around and beat us, unfortunately, at home. Then they lost to the Chiefs 30-14, but Chiefs are quite a tough team to play. And then their last game before the bye, they beat the Packers at Lambeau, which I thought was surprising, but then Packers came to Nissan and we stomped all over them. But they beat the Packers 31-26. Last week was their bye week, so they are coming off a bye. They have had an extra long break to prepare for the Titans, which is unfair, but we'll move past that and get straight down into the positional breakdowns. Starting with the Colts. At quarterback, Mr. Andrew Luck is their QB. We know him. We have faced him plenty of times. He has never lost to the Titans. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his crazy neck beard or his nasally voice or his just nerdy face, but something about him just does not fear the Titans, and we have to invoke fear in him this week. They're lacking some of the personnel departments. Andrew Luck has still had a pretty solid year. Currently, he's got 2,500 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions, and he's got an over a 90 QB rating on the year, 93.9 to be exact. The first time we played them, he absolutely torched us. It was pretty much Andrew Luck's game. He threw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh gosh, could not stop him. He was on fire the whole game, and he's capable of doing that again at any given moment. He's definitely one of the elite quarterbacks in the league.
Doesn't even need superstars on the offense to make a difference. He makes it work with who he's got.
He does. So that's Andrew Luck. Tell us about Mariota.
Oh man, where do I start? He is the GOAT, the savior, literally. I'm borderline getting sacrilegious here with how much I'm praising him, but he is on an absolute tear. He is probably the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now. I think over the last 5 games, he has 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Coming off his 4-touchdown game against the Green Bay Packers.
4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Yeah, 0 everything except for goodness. He was 100% goodness in this game. But yeah, Marcus Mariota playing lights out. I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, just look at his stats. Look at some of his highlights. The dude is balling right now.
So throw out some stats on Marcus. And now, take into account, we have not played our bye week yet. So he does have an extra game on a lot of people. But he's currently first in the AFC in touchdown passes thrown with 21. Just only 8 interceptions. Another fantastic ratio, if you ask me, even though it seems like he's been turning the ball over a lot. He's almost at 2,500 yards on the season. And he's got a 99.6 QB rating. Bottom line, the dude is hotter than the inside of a pepperoni Hot Pocket right out of the microwave.
Okay, that's
and you know how hot that
burns.
is. Yes. So honestly, I think Mariota gets the advantage.
Oh my gosh! Over Andrew Luck.
Over Andrew Luck.
Oh man, that feels good.
You know what? The NFL is all about who's streaking, either good or bad, and Mariota is streaking in the best direction you can be right now, and the hottest player maybe in the league.
And it's not that Andrew Luck is streaking down; it's just the super incline of streaking that Mariota.
It's just Mariota has put on his turbo boost and streaked past Andrew Luck. So I'm going to give the advantage to Marcus Mariota. On to the running backs and the rushing game.
Tell us, how's the old man Frank Gore holding up?
Old man Frank Gore is actually holding up pretty well, as in he hasn't been hurt yet, which is kind of surprising based on how old and brittle his bones are. But the guy's still churning out pretty solid games, nothing huge. He's only got 592 yards on the season, which isn't too bad. He's still got a 4.1 yard average per carry, so anything over 4, if you ask me, is pretty decent. They don't rush the ball a lot. Frank Gore is a strong running back and definitely capable of, getting those tough yards. I feel like in the first game, he was easily breaking off chunk yards, 4 or 5 yards a carry, getting them, ahead of the down early, getting positive yards on first and second down for him, and then it becomes extremely hard to stop a Colts passing offense with Andrew Luck on 3rd and short. He's a weapon that they utilize in both the rushing and the receiving game, so gotta lock him down.
Gotta lock him down.
But compare him to the Titans running backs.
Oh man, it's kind of a landslide because, well, first of all, our offensive philosophy is run first and smash mouth the opponents in the mouth. And it has been extremely effective. As we all know, Demarco Murray registered another 100-yard game last week, broke off his longest run of the season, 75 yards against the Packers, first play of the game. Demarco Murray has shown his exotic versatility in passing the football as well.
Dare we say if Mariota goes down with injury, we have a very capable backup in Demarco Murray.
Yeah, sit down, Matt Castle. You are demoted to 3rd string now. He's second in the NFL in rushing yards. He's got 930 on the season, 8 touchdowns on the ground, 2 through the air, I think. So 10 total touchdowns.
And 1 throwing.
So 11 total touchdowns. He's doing it all for us. As long as we don't play the Cowboys, I would give the Titans the advantage in the running back category. Any day of the week. We have not really shown any signs of slowing down. I think we clearly have the advantage here.
Definitely. Moving on quickly to the receiving game. We talked about this in the first preview episode of the Titans vs. the Colts, but their main receiver, T.Y. Hilton, and his famous touchdown dance, T.Y., we actually had to see it the first time we played him. He caught that long touchdown against Jason McCourty, and he tore us up. The guy went for 133 yards and 1 touchdown against us. And this was when most of their other top receivers were injured. They got the Philip Dorsetts and the Dante Moncrief. Dante Moncrief is a big receiver, capable of making big plays. Philip Dorsett's a speedy guy. He can break it deep too. So now that they have all their weapons around them, it's going to be even tougher for the Titans in the secondary. Pretty much T.Y. has been the only healthy receiver they've had the whole year. So he's leaps and bounds ahead of all their other receivers in terms of statistics. As far as tight ends go, they didn't have Dwayne Allen the first time we played him, but he's back. But I don't even think he's their starter anymore because Jack frickin' Doyle, come out of nowhere and has turned it on. The guy's been a beast. He's currently their second leading receiver. 36 receptions, 379 yards, and equal in touchdowns to T.Y. Hilton. And let's not forget, he also had a day against the Titans the first time we played it because we are unable to cover tight ends across the middle. Jack Doyle went for 9 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown against us the first time. So we're going to have to lock him down. I know that's a weakness of our defense is covering tight ends, especially across the middle with our linebackers. So it's going to be a tough matchup.
So the Titans wide receivers are completely benefiting from Mariota balling out, putting the ball in the right spot. But these receivers are coming through for us. They're not dropping passes. They're getting open when they can. I know that's kind of a struggle. Regardless, our receivers are making plays for us. They're helping Mariota out. Marcus has been spreading the ball around, so they've all been getting involved. Rashard Matthews has emerged as our #1 go-to receiver overall, he's probably still our second option, but behind Delaney Walker, who had one of the greatest first quarters for a tight end. But yeah, Rashard Matthews has scored 6 touchdowns in 6 games. He is finding the end zone on a regular basis now. Kendall Wright is always a threat. He caught a touchdown pass. Tajay Sharp is starting to catch more balls again. He got his first touchdown reception of his career last week against Green Bay.
I think just based on pure talent, I think the Colts have a little more across the board. I think Moncrief is an exceptional talent, young talent, a wide receiver. He missed a lot of time due to injury, but I think he's a great number 2 opposite of T.Y. Hilton. So I think I would give them a slight edge, honestly. I really like how hot our receivers have been in conjunction with how hot Mariota's been, but I still got to give it to the Colts, especially how they tore us up in the first matchup. On to the defenses. Defense. We already went over the Colts' overall kind of statistical categories and how they're pretty weak in overall defense. So let's check into some of their personnel. Currently, DeQuell Jackson is leading their team in tackles with 58 total tackles. But like you just mentioned off camera, they don't have a lot of big names in their personnel department. Across the board, Eric Walden is leading their team in sacks with 7. Robert Mathis has 2. And we know what Robert Mathis is capable of. He's the one who returned the fumble against us game 1 to seal the deal. But other than that, Vontae Davis is kind of their star corner. In their secondary, Mike Adams, capable safety, but not a lot of big names, and I think that's definitely a point of weakness.
Defense got, the first time we played the Colts, got a little bit exposed badly for the first time this season. Obviously, our secondary is a bit of a liability still. Opposing offenses are kind of figuring that out, that they can move the ball by passing it down the field against us. But still, our defense is solid overall, in my opinion. We have that bend but don't break mentality that we say over and over on this show. But we've got some star power on our team, particularly among the front 7. Starting with Brian Arakpo, 9 sacks so far on the season. He had 2 last week against the Packers. And then Derek Morgan is coming along with 6.5 sacks on the other side of the edge. Jarrell Casey, obviously, the man on the lines, in the trenches, doing the dirty work. Having another good year for us. He doesn't have the sack numbers that we're used to seeing so far, but he's still making a difference. He's still getting pressure after the quarterback consistently. Boom! Safety Kevin Byard is coming on, our rookie third-round pick. He's led our team in tackles the past 2 games. We need that in our secondary. We need a sure tackler. So Parrish Cox is going to have to step it up. Bryce McCain is going to have a good game. Our other cornerbacks, they're going to have to bring their A game against this Colts offense because they're going to be tough to stop if we can't put some pressure on them.
Just comparing the defenses, our production has been better than the Colts defense, and I think our personnel across the board is better. I think we get the advantage in this situation.
Yes.
I think we talked about it the first time. I think it's even more obvious now with how well we're playing. We are the better team across the board, offensively and defensively. It's just, can we execute against our arch nemesis, the Colts? First preview episode against them, we talked about how this game, if we're going to win it, is going to be won in the trenches, which I thought was the key to the game because they owned us in the trenches, offensive and defense. We couldn't generate a pass rush, which led to Andrew Luck picking us apart. So I think that's going to be the key to the game again. We're stronger on the offensive line and defensive line, especially front 7. We're going to have to enforce our will upon this Colts team because they're weaker. They're just weaker. Even if you're a Colts fan, you have to admit the Titans are a better overall team. I don't think anyone would doubt that this time. It's just, can we execute? Yeah, perspective. Can we execute on the road against a division rival? Because in the past, it doesn't matter if we have the better team. It's always a good game against the Colts.
It always is. To everyone's surprise, I'm actually going to go with the Titans in this game.
What? Oh my gosh, what a shock.
Wow, mind blown. But yeah, we've got to beat the Colts. We've got to get over the hump. I'm sick of this crap. I'm going to say final score 31-21. You're going to have to
I think, obviously, Titans are going to win. We've talked about it. We're the better team. We're the hotter team, which I think even matters more than having the better team in the NFL. And, man, our offense is on fire. I like us winning 30-21 was the score I had. But you know what's going to happen. If we want to beat the Colts this Sunday, we're going to have to beat them on the virtual football field today. We will play John Madden himself in the virtual flesh and see how well he is at commanding the Indianapolis Colts, which isn't going to be very good.
Yeah.
And, we'll see you at the game on Sunday if you're going to Indy.
Tell us if you're going. We could meet up and talk to some fellow Titans fans. I don't want to be surrounded by Colts fans.
Let's do it. Oh, I faked it.
Yeah, son.
Yep. Oh, he got jacked up.